visit some brother out on my call. This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I am very excited, so much excited that I dressed up in army gear for you guys with the color purple. So, with that being said, I'm here to do a reading on BTS. Yes, I know it's been a while, and yes, I know lately on this channel, if you are a follower on this channel, I've been mostly talking about Blackpink, and we originally started out talking about a lot more. K-pop groups, but it seems like Blackpink and BTS was the most that the fans of this channel seem to gather to come to us about, and you guys come to us about. And since BTS recently has been MIA for the last 3 years due to their military service, they wasn't able to. There wasn't much to really read or talk about with them besides here and there talking about their solo artists doing their solo endeavors. But I'll get more in detail to that because I'm sure you armies already know, but I'm going to break down and do the overview of what I got in the last, I'll say, month or two, last month, this month, and next month. So I'm looking at the next 3 months, like I'm looking at 3 months of information and content that's been going around. So because of that, I just want to break down what I've been up to. And because BTS is returning in 2026. That is great. That is amazing. Yes, hurrah, hurrah. Can't wait for them to return. I can't wait to see what they're going to show us, just like with the Blinks and the Black Army. Not the Black Army. Hey, I'm sure there is Black Army here too. But Blinks? Blarmy? I'm not sure what you would call the merging of the two groups. I'm sure you guys don't have a name of it, but you guys really should, honestly. You have a nicely shared fan base 45% of the time. It's not 55% of the time. 45% of the time, you guys share your content very nicely and overlap. But I digress. So let's just talk about the fact that, because I want to get into the fact that all this is what's happening around the time BTS comes back together, and what's that going to have to do an impact with their future of BTS returning. That's what I'm going to do a reading on today. So that being said, let me break this all down. I tried to have it all in order, but this is what I've got, and this is what I want to talk about. So first, Jimin and Jungkook. You can correct me down below in the comments if I am wrong. You guys are well more versed in this than I am. Jimin and Jungkook were the last two members to finish their military service, and they just returned from the military on August 29th. So that was like today, or at least the articles that I was seeing was just recently talking about this. So within the last week, they have gotten out of the military. Although some articles say September. So please, not September. September or October? What comes before August? June, July. I heard like June or July. So there was a lot of members that was coming up, but I digress. So that's one thing that's going on. Another thing is that they have announced their world tour for 2026. Another thing is that Suga returned from the military on June 25th. J-Hope from BTS, he had posted a picture. Now, I'm not sure if this is when they had just reunited recently, around that time when they did their world tour announcement, and he's now just recently posting these pictures. But on August 21st of this year, he posted a photo, I call it a photo dump, but just a bunch of pictures of him and BTS, and titled it and captioned it BTS with exclamation points, citing and symbolizing the uniting of BTS and how excited he is for them to come back together. We're getting the band back together. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So, and also I was going to do a reading about this originally, but I chose to put it in here and do a reading on BTS altogether, since there's just so much to talk about. I didn't know where to start. And because I know there was some YouTubers out there in Korea that were getting sued for talking about dating rumors and stuff like that. So I didn't want to get too much into it and get myself in trouble or anything. But allegedly, Jimin has been dating a actress named Sung Dong-hae. Now, I remember those pictures being posted around 2022, just around the time I was getting out of K-pop. But what I find very interesting is the fact that that video that is currently resurfacing on the internet, or that she has recently posted, which I don't even know why, because allegedly they aren't dating. Some fans are saying, I thought they broke up. Others are saying that she's a crazy sasaeng. Others are saying that she's super weird for posting that video without his consent. So I don't know if this confirms that they were dating at one point. I don't know if people even care if they were dating at one point. It's just weird. It was just out of context. If that video was like just recent, yeah, I would have made a tarot reading about that. But because that's a video that she just happened to recently post that's old, I don't know what she was trying to do there, gain some clout because Jimin just recently came out and you guys want them to think that you're dating because the last time you seen your Butang was right before he went out into the military, allegedly, because BTS went into enlisted in 2022, and that's allegedly around the time when that elevator video was taken and those rumors happened. So whatever. So then BTS did a Weverse live on July 1st where they had talked. Well, this is the first time they have first and last time that we've seen them reunited, and they had announced a tour and a album. See, this is a lot that's going on. That's why I have to do a reading on BTS, because I got to figure out what's coming up for 2026. So it has been 3 years since BTS has done anything as a whole. 3 years is a lot, and this is my transition. Let's look over what has been happening in the 3 years while the members were doing their solo activities. But let's just see what happened with the company Hybe and all its solo company record labels. Yeah, I'm going there. So first, Adore allegedly appointed a new CEO. You remember Adore? Yeah, that's going after New Jeans and Jay-Z. Yeah, it's kind of interesting that they have appointed a new CEO. I heard this is the second time they've appointed a new CEO. Adore, I don't know what you're doing, what you've got going on over there, but okay. I'm just putting that out there. This is the company that's attached to BTS, and this is what's been happening since they've left. So I don't know if BTS was like the lucky glue, and if they weren't enlisted in the military, none of this would have happened. So I don't know. I don't know why Hybe seemed to like crumble once BTS. I mean, I know Hybe got Cat Eye, and Cat's Eye is booming and got it going on. But that's another thing that you got to look at too. Once BTS comes back, you got two groups that you got to handle at one time. I know Hybe is only familiar with really hosting one, and that's BTS. And I know there is other companies, groups that are underneath Hybe as in their sub labels as well as Adore and as other things, but they're not as big as Cat's Eye and they're not as big as BTS. Like maybe you can argue Ellis Firm, yes, maybe you can. New Jeans had the potential, but you know what happened. So you see the track record here and other company and other groups underneath Hybe that got the backlash and whip. So that's what's been going on while BTS is gone. But I digress. It's not, I digress. No, but wait, there's more. That's what I meant. The next thing is, I don't even want to talk about this one because this one pains me so much. Bang Senhyuk. Why in 2020, like a IPO investigation for fraud? Are we serious? That was still when BTS was around before they got enlisted into the military. And was this around the time before you stepped down as CEO? And we now have this new CEO, which I feel like since they've changed chairman, it has been the downfall of Hybe since. And then Scooter Braun's comes in and then dips out. So I don't know what's going on in Hybe with whatever they got going on. So because of that, this really disappoints me. And apparently there are some fans out there worrying if this police investigation of Bin Sunhyuk is going to affect the release of BTS's album in 2026. So That is it. Another thing is that BTS Movie Weeks is apparently a thing. And it's a 4-part film where they're going to be releasing old movies or old documentaries or old movies that they did and remaster them. That's great to hear. That's nice to hear. And you get to watch them on big screen all over again from September 24th to October 5th. So those are your weeks to watch BTS in the movies. And this is all to prep and hype up ARMY for the return of BTS. Excuse me. So all that to be said, let's now dive into the cards to figure out what is going on with BTS. What is going on behind the scenes with BTS? Now that they finally all fully reunited as of this month, BTS is finally back together. They're finally all done. And I know I've done a reading on them a couple of times before over the years with their solo careers, and I've said that they've really changed and grown as men. So for them to come back, I can't wait to see what they're going to offer us. So I'm just going to shuffle the cards. I think this will be enough, since this one wanted to work. We have the 5 of Swords in the middle. Okay, let's see what's surrounding this 5 of Swords. That's not a good start. We have the World at the bottom. Okay, I like that. A great start. In the past, we have the 7 of Pentacles. Considering where they're coming from in the past, that is a great card. In their head, we see the Sun or the the Sun or the Knight of Swords, which I also kind of find like swords in the air position, head position. I like that, but hey, let's see. Oh, and in the future, the Star card. Okay. Juicy. I like that. I like that. And right here, that 5 of Swords. Outside of the 5 of Swords, the cards surrounding the 5 of Swords are very uplifting and hopeful. So, ARMY, what do I have to say for the BTS? Well, first, right here, and before I get to there, let's just start with their past, since their past is more important right now. In the past, the 7 of Pentacles, they were still working on their careers. They were working on themselves. They were actually honestly reevaluating and looking over their lives and looking over their character, and have actually had some growth and character development. Like the plot has thickened, guys, with BTS and their sense of self and identity now that they have gone into the military. I'm not sure if it's like you can kind of say like the rite of passage of becoming a grown adult man, but that's what the kind of vibe that I'm getting, that the ARMY, no pun intended there, but the ARMY has really changed the members and they have really grown. And in the past, as they was working out the military duty and services and releasing their music as well, keeping the ARMY fully satisfied and well kept and fed. They did all of that, and they're looking at their success and looking at what they can still accomplish, but just thinking about what more they can accomplish when they come back together. Like they're such strong individuals that when you put them back into a group again, especially now that they have developed, it's going to kind of be a friction. It's going to kind of be a clash as well. Different perspective, and also just outside of BTS coming back together and a clash of their personalities again, going back to old energies, but that old energy is kind of new and revamped, as we see here down at the bottom with the World card, an end of an old chapter and a beginning of a new chapter. The old BTS and the new BTS meeting each other at a crossroads. That feels like a sort of growing pain, a friction of how do we elevate BTS while still being BTS, and our fans are accustomed to us being outside of BTS. So how do we bring our auras, our styles, our vibes that are so different from each other back together that still authentically own ourselves and us as a group at the same time. So it's kind of like that. Maybe they'll have more creative directive freedom when it comes. I mean, I know they've always have, but maybe now they'll, especially that they're older adults, they could have more say over their career than they did beforehand. And also just what's going on around Hybe and everything with their company. It's just a friction time, and it's just not now for them to get out now is just not the great time because Hybe just got a lot going on with them. But it's BTS. They're going to survive. They're going to pass through. They'll weather the storm. Okay, BTS is not going to be affected by whatever their company's got going on because they have such a solid fan base that outside of that, their fans are going to support them no matter what. Even though Hybe is a questionable company at this moment, it's about BTS and the love for BTS. And I can't fault you guys for that. I love it. And we see here in their head, though, it was the Knight of Swords. And I see that they have a lot of communication going on. Like they could be sending a lot of text messages, they could be sending a lot of emails, having a lot of meetings, staff discussions. Now that they've came back together, but also figuring out who's their new team, who's managing them, who is looking after BTS now that they are back together. They maybe they had their own teams that they were working with, so now they gotta maybe merge teams, find a team that can work with all of them. So because of that, you got to figure out, and who knows, maybe they still want to do some of their solo careers while still working as BTS. There's so many things that can go forward from here that BTS is in this planning stage of what's the next future and the next steps moving forward. And that too is a time of period of friction because it's awkward. It's not the fun stage. It brings frustration. It brings a feeling of stallness, like nothing is getting done. It can, especially if you're like really excited to get back to the fans, get back to ARMY, but you got to go through the hoops, the dupes, the loops, and the legalization. And it's just like, oh, why can't I just get back to my fans already? You know, kind of thing, the urgency. So because of that, it's like that push and pull, that tug of how to deal with the new feelings, the new reality, the new being in persona and coming together, grouping together, like you said, like there's like what, 5, 6, 7 members of BTS. So that's a lot of people to come to. That's a lot of heads and people to come together again, especially when you've been going your separate ways. And I've heard some members kind of were clashing with each other during the time that they were in military, and other fans and other members grew closer together. So it's like, what's going on with BTS and how they, people grow, change, you outgrow people. You know how it is. But they're always brothers down in heart. They're always brothers. So because of that, they don't forget that. They don't forget where their heart lies either. So moving forward, that brings to a beautiful future, which is the star card. Now, usually the star is wishing for hope, and usually you don't wish upon the star unless you really want something or you're in a troubled time and you're hoping for a different outcome. And what I see here for that is neither of that for BTS. What I see here is that they are going to be the stars in the future. They said early 2026. We are in the 8th, getting ready to go into the 9th month. So we got 3 more months until 2026. So they could come out in January, they could come out in February, so they could come out in 3, 4 months. They could be the star. They could come out beaming, glowing. The star breakouts of the show and the news and the entertainment. So that's what I see with BTS when it comes to the star card. A sense of being back in the light, being back in the limelight, having being on stage, their world tour, doing their album. But if they do their album, when they release their album, are they going to perform on a live stage? And is their album going to be in Korean? Is it going to be in English? Like, what are they going to do here? I'm kind of curious. What is BTS going to do? because some members went to go completely into the music, American music industry. So that's why I'm just like, how are they going to blend together now? That's the masterpiece. That's the craft that they got to figure out. So I'm just going to pull some outside influences just to see what's going on surrounding BTS, because it looks so good and it looks so transformative. But I just have to figure out what is the undercurrent, even, or the influential energy. Well, in the past, I see the end of the line, which is a very common theme, talking about how it is time for the old BTS to be archived, put in a shelf, be in nostalgia, a memory to remember. But now that they have grown into these grown adult men, they want to revamp their career and have their career match them and who they are in this present moment. So because of that, it's the end of the line. The old BTS, what we're going to get something very more mature. Even maybe it could be even something different outside of what they've been giving in their solo careers. Maybe this could be like really be BTS like coming out bangers, or this could be like BTS a little bit somber, or it could be like a mixture, but it's definitely going to be spoken from the heart. Okay, but this is very interesting. But no, I like this. At the very bottom, it's a snake. Now, I know, weird, right? This is such a good reading. So I see the snake as somebody shedding their skin, because that's exactly what a snake does. When it's time for a new chapter and a new phase of your life, you got to shed that skin off of you. It's painful. It takes some time. However, it's time. It's the process of life. Things regain and regenerate. So that's exactly what I see here. And then I see birds. And the birds, honestly, I'm going to say is the fans, because that's the army. The birds are the people that are talking and gossiping about BTS. They're in the news. Hey, I'm doing a reading on them. So because of that, that is something right and in BTS's favor, no matter what they're doing behind the scenes to get ready to come to us face to face. So because of that, as that happens, the army is going to be talking, speculating, waiting for BTS, loving BTS. Anything BTS drops, they're going to eat it up. They're going to love it, and it's going to come from the heart. They're going to give. It's like mama birds feeding to their baby birds. They're going to feed you everything out of love, honestly. Oh, and then a positive card, a go card, that their career is, I don't want to say just getting started, but this new rebrand of BTS is coming. It's going to be it's going to be greenlit, it's going to be accepted by the fans, and honestly, it could catapult them even more forward, because they could show us a new side of them. I really hope the vibe that I keep picking up, and I hope they go down this vibe, is where they talk about being like reflective. I know, how reflective can they talk about being in the military? I don't know. Talk about being lonely. Talk about what it's like missing somebody you love, whether that's a friend, whether that's a sibling, whether that's a lover. Let's talk about what it's like to miss and be around somebody, or talk about what it's like to hang out with the people that you love. Talk about stuff like that, or what it's like having the memory and the nostalgia of walking down memory lane. I'm sorry, that was my ring. Okay, hold up. Have the memory and nostalgia of walking down memory lane, of looking at scenery, looking at how things have changed, how things have grown in 3 years while you were gone. Just things like that. Maybe things that you've learned about yourself, experiences that have taught you stuff. Like, come on, there's so much BTS could bring to us. Like, I could keep going on. Get me on your PR team. I could give you guys a lot of things that you could brainstorm to bring Army. But hey, Army, tell me, is that what you want from your idols? Leave it down below in the comments. Do you want them to bring you ballads? Do you want them to bring you some bangers where they dance? Do you want them to bring something that's more soulful to the touch, but also still good dance vibes? Do you want it to be slow and not much like a ballad, but still slower in pace, where it could feel like it could be an OTS to a Korean TV show? So like, what vibe are you trying to get from BTS with this album? Do you expect it to be something related to dance, partying, military, love, relationships, friendships, life, laughter, joy, sadness, the struggle of growth. Like there's so many avenues that they could take. So with that being said, I will leave this with that with you guys. I could keep brainstorming. That's why I said the future is in the air. But whatever it is, BTS is going to shine bright like a diamond. So with that being said, I hope to see you sunflowers in the next one. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And please, if you enjoyed this content, subscribe, because I'm going to do another reading on BTS I'm going to keep tabs on BTS. Don't worry. Don't worry. I haven't forgotten about BTS. No, I've been a blink lately, but I'm still in the army. So with that, I'm going to keep tabs on BTS and what's going on with them. Tell me how you enjoyed this reading, and give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. If you've made it this far into the video, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm and tells YouTube that you enjoy our content. And with that being said, I will now see you sunflowers in the next one. Sunflowers!